Hi guys, follow me on Instagram to never ever miss any of my crazy updates. Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I am riding this, the Neo Cafe Racer, the CB300R, and straight away let me show you the headlight of this motorcycle. It's an attractive looking unit. It gets the retro charm, it gets the LEDs, and this motorcycle uses all LEDs. Alright, LEDs here, LEDs here, LEDs here, LEDs all over the place on this particular motorcycle. And the front suspension, upside down forks from Showa. Tires are really nice as well, Michelin ones, and obviously you get pedal discs, nice alloy wheel design, Nissin brake calipers, reflector here, and the radiator gets this bikini fairing to hide it. It says CB300R here. It really looks very nice, but come to the side and you'll realize that this is a very compact motorcycle. It doesn't offer the big bike feel because it doesn't look big, and it doesn't ride like a big bike either. Look at it, it's so freaking compact a motorcycle, but fit, finish and build quality is just amazing on this machine. The exhaust also gets this chrome slap on over here, and it's a big exhaust, but it's a single port unit, although it kind of looks like it should be a dual port unit because it's just so freaking big. Aluminum swing arms, so top hardware bits. Obviously you get ABS at the rear as well, front and rear ABS. Unfortunately it is not switchable, unlike the Duke 390, which gets a super moto mode. And the tires are really very nice. In fact, the same tires are also there on the Apache 110 front, 150 rear, and again you get LEDs at the rear. Wow, Honda is doing LEDs, my goodness, the world is about to change. Alright, here again LED brake light. This is actually the keyhole to open the seat, which is just to keep your papers off the motorcycle, but that's about it. As you can see, the quality of this motorcycle deserves a special applause. However, there is this barbecue grill over here known as the Sari Guard, which is an eyesore of course. Premium quality of foot pegs as well. And okay, this is a diamond frame chassis. That is the Honda motor. There is the placement of the horn. Everything feels so nice and premium, but it doesn't get a side stand indicator, and that is the monoshock suspension, which is colored in red. It gets a split seat setup along with space to hold on to, and the grab rail design is also very nice, although pillion comfort isn't that great because the seat is kind of small. However, you can hold on to like this. Although it looks really nice, it would have been better if it was a proper thing to hold on to. The seat is on the harder side, so it's not very comfortable. Seat height is just 800 mm, which means it is accessible for both short as well as tall riders. And you can see the motorcycle just looks so freaking beefy and muscular. A lot of panels, but you know what, this is just 10 liters, coupled with the fact that it will return a mileage between 25 to 30 kilometers per liter. Well, tank range isn't that great because of the small tank on this motorcycle. No adjustable levers like in the case of the Duke 390, and the mirrors offer a good view of what's behind. It's a mix of retro and modern design. Now this is a Honda motorcycle which gets an engine kill switch, and the switchgear quality is also very premium. This is obviously for the low beam and the high beam. This is the horn of the motorcycle. This is for the indicator. This is the pass light switch. Over here you get the engine start button as well as the engine coil switch. Well, that's about it. But if you look at the suspension, yes, Showa, and it is adjustable for preload, 7-step adjustability. That's again a very nice touch. So as you can see, the motorcycle definitely looks really nice and premium, but the instrument cluster kind of looks small. It's an all digital unit. When you turn it on, it says "Let's Ride," and that is the cluster. It shows you a fuel meter, a clock, a tachometer, a speedometer, twin trip meters, as well as a fuel economy meter along with a temperature meter. In fact, there are a lot of things you can browse through, like the odometer, fuel consumed, as well as the fuel economy of this motorcycle, both in real time as well as average fuel economy. However, it misses out on certain important bits, like of course a distance to empty meter along with a gear position indicator, which is just kind of sad. That said, it's really the heart of the matter, which makes a lot of sense here. But before we get riding, let's turn it on. It starts with a very smooth rumble, and yeah, it gets a gear shift indicator. Things between my legs are vibrating right now because there are some vibes which can be felt on the seat near the red line. The motor is smooth. Let's get riding right away. Sorry about the false neutral, and we are off, and let me tell you, okay, let me shut up. This is the Honda CBR 300. No. It's the CB300R. Well, it is kind of the naked version of the CBR 300R, which never made it to the Indian market. But this one is a Neo Cafe Racer. And let me tell you, this engine is sweet. Now, this is a 286cc motor, which produces 30 horsepower and 27.4 Newton meters of torque. 30 horsepower might not sound like much, simply because it isn't. However, torque output is considerable. Now, this is the 286cc motor. It's a single cylinder motor and it is liquid cooled, gets 4 valves, all the modern bits, which means that in terms of refinement, it is great. And of course, a Honda engine, which means that there is just superb refinement. There's good amount of punch as well. In fact, the punch is so good lower down that you don't have to ride it in lower gears or ring the throttle too much, because there's just so much punch. In fact, it's really how the torque is delivered which makes this motorcycle so much fun to ride. It's a very torquey motorcycle. It has great amount of low end punch. It has a good mid range too, but top end isn't that great, although it will redline above 10,500 rpm, close to 11,000 rpm in lower gears. Open the throttle, it will react very fast, and of course the gearbox is also very slick shifting. It's a very smooth gearbox. However, the clutch slightly on the heavier side, but there is no slipper clutch, which is kind of disappointing here. Yeah, it is quite nimble as well. In fact, it's really the front end feel of this motorcycle which makes me like it so much. And here we go. First gear almost 55, second gear does 83 and reaches 100 in third gear itself. I love the throaty nature of this motorcycle. It does sound nice, but it is on the stiffer side. It is quite a lot stiff, this machine. In fact, it is so stiff that it's not compliant over bad roads. Still, it's less stiffer than the KTM Duke 390. That said, what I really like about this motorcycle is the fact it's so nimble, it's so agile, and it has front end feel. It has a lot of front end feel, something which is usually lacking in motorcycles these days, because they make them stable but somehow they forget about the front. This one has a lot of weight on the front, yet it manages to be so nimble, agile, and so much fun as well. The brakes are supreme. Superb brakes on this motorcycle, absolutely sensational. In fact, first gear 54, yeah, that is Duke 390 territory. So the gearing is on the taller side, but then honestly, it could have done with more power. Torque is great on this machine, but power could have been more for sure. There are not many vibes. You feel some amount of them on the foot pegs, but for the most part, this is a very compliant motorcycle. Like I told you, ride isn't great. The seat is stiff and the seating position is quite upright. However, it gets center set foot pegs, not rear set like the Duke 390. Overall performance is alright. I would say it should take around 7.5 seconds to go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, which is quite brisk, and there is such a positive bite on the brake lever. In fact, it gets Nissin brake calipers, it gets pedal discs for better heat dissipation, and of course it gets really nice tires as well. These are Michelin's, offer great amount of feel and feedback. I mean, there's good amount of grip on offer. Tire size is the same as the Duke 390, 110 section front and 150 section rear. Yeah, the brakes are supreme. Lot of wind blast on this motorcycle naturally. However, the mirrors are big enough to give you a good view of what's behind. Really positive bite on the brakes. Splendid. ABS cannot be turned off, but ABS is very well calibrated. It's not too intrusive. So yes, even in case of heavy braking, there isn't much pulsating on the lever. Yeah, ride is stiff AF. It's really very stiff, but feels so punchy. It's a proper Duke 390 rival because it has the sort of characteristics. Only thing is the build quality is way better. It's much more refined as well. Ground clearance isn't an issue. Stand and fly suspension setup is great. Alright, you get Showa front forks, upside down forks of course, and they're adjustable for preload, 7-step adjustment, and around the corners it is just so freaking feedback-rich. It really inspires you to tip it into corners, and overall I would say Honda has done a super job with this motorcycle. Great build quality, good performance, puts a smile on your face, and definitely the handling, the ease of riding, the nimble nature, is something which I've become a big fan of. That said, a slipper clutch is sorely missed. That said, the pricing is on the high side because this comes via the CKD route. In fact, pricing is so high that this should be competing with the Duke 250, but it ends up competing with the Duke 390 at a cost of rupees 2.81 lakhs. That's a lot of money for a motorcycle of this category. It should have had either twin cylinders, or it should definitely had been priced slightly on the lower side to take on the Duke 250 head on. Love the brakes super duper. Yeah, so much feel and feedback on the brake lever, and the acceleration is also really very nice. It pulls. All right, what are we doing here? Why is this dude riding in the center of the road? Any which ways, guys, this is my review of the Honda CB300R. What a motorcycle. Only thing is the price is just not justified for the amount of power. 30 horsepower needs a lower pricing. In fact, I'll show you how easy it is to maneuver this motorcycle. There you go. Yeah, it get into neutral, false neutrals a bit, but it's so good around the corners, low speeds or high speeds. It just offers feel and a lot more feel. That is a level of feel and feedback from the chassis. It is a diamond frame. It's a lightweight frame. In fact, it weighs just 147 odd kgs, which makes it quite a light motorcycle. So nimble, so agile, so much fun, and it is so light. It's so easy to maneuver it in the city, ride it hard and fast. Only thing is, yeah, it kind of throws you off because of the stiff suspension setup of this machine, but that's a compromise I'm willing to make, because overall this is almost a faultless motorcycle, other than the fact that the price is on the higher side for 30 horsepower. Now, I would have bought this motorcycle if it was priced more attractively, but unfortunately it is not. And if it had slightly more power, then definitely I would have given it a big thumbs up as well. So guys, this is my review of the Honda CB300. Great motorcycle, great fun, great performance, and definitely Honda is back and with a bang in the quarter liter segment. Bye bye.